Well, let's exercise with me while I share something very cool that happened today. I am an Uber driver, and a man entered my car and started trying to talk to me. I wasn't really in the mood to talk, but I decided to. I realized that he wanted to chat, so I decided to chat, and it ended up being a very great conversation. We were discussing marriage and equality between genders, and I'm not the most social person in the world. I actually, in my own country, I wouldn't even say a word to anybody. My thing was just to dance together, play sports together, do anything together without ever saying a word. And the only reason why I actually speak a lot in this country is because I wanted to learn English and other languages, and then after I became a minister, so talking became part of the job. But I'm still very socially awkward, and when I'm not working like as a minister, I still like being silent. So when this man came, I felt that I should, he wanted to talk, I should talk to him. And I followed the gut feeling. And so he said that maybe marriages weren't supposed to last a lifetime, but only until it's good. And he asked me if I thought that marriage could be good for a lifetime. And at that moment I felt that I should let him talk, even though he was asking me a question. So I told him, well, what do you think about that? What do you think the reasons are the reasons for marriage not to last a lifetime anymore? And he started saying things that I've never even considered before. Nobody told me before. Never crossed my mind before, and made a lot of sense. He said, well, I think the lifespan in the old days were much shorter. A lot of people would die in their 40s, so they didn't have a long life to live. Marriage didn't last that long to begin with. I also think that before, men used to have more than one wife, so this way, they weren't too bothered. And I was like, it does make sense. But I told him, well, I think that marriage is a Christian tradition that we have commercialized, just like Christmas. Marriage now is not as much about dating a person that was single, and they were single and they agreed to date, and then when you have sex with, you consummate your marriage. it's now about spending money. It's about having a huge party in a church, exchanging rings, and we change important values. When I read about marriage in the Bible, I see that man is to be a provider, and nowadays men either wants to share costs with their woman half and a half, or they even get very comfortable having their woman paying for whatever they want. So men are not providers anymore. Also, men nowadays want to go to their women for their emotions instead of going to God. So they give to their women their Clark side instead of giving it to God. And in the past, they used to give their women their Superman side. And women like strength, they like protection, they like power. And now they see from their men weaknesses. So they don't feel sexually attracted to them anymore. And he also realized that it is true. And then we talk about equality. He's like, well, women want equality, and they're becoming highly masculine. And I agree with him, but I told him that we are starting to realize that equality is to give to each gender what each gender needs. So as a woman, I might need feminine products once a month, and a man would need shaving products for their face. And we shouldn't give feminine products to both men and women and facial shaving products to both men and women. That's not equality. Equality is to give to each gender what each gender needs. And I told him, well, you see, women still make less money than men, making working on the same exactly job. However, their rent are not cheaper than men, their food are not cheaper than men, and when they go out on date, men want to share equally with them. So it gets way more expensive for them. Plus, most women don't eat as much as men. So we are paying way more when on a date than we would pay going out by ourselves. So this is not equality. And then we discussed the biblical story of Queen Esther, in which Queen Esther fought for her people in a highly feminine manner. Instead, she showed the females strength in a feminine way instead of doing so in a masculine way. So she prepared a big banquet to her husband because she wanted to discuss a very serious subject with him. And her husband, being a highly intelligent man, he asked her, what do you want from me? And she said, nothing, just to give you a banquet. And then she gave him a second banquet, and not only to him, but to his subordinates as well. So she used something highly feminine, like cooking, to get his full attention. And now that he was highly pleased, highly satisfied, thankful with her gestures, he was not only open to hear what she had to say, but also he was willing to help her. Let me find a good place for my phone, so I can continue to exercise while doing this. I was exercising when I had this urge to share this conversation that I had today, and I really am all about following my guts, even when I don't understand what's going on. I'm like, I'm still wearing the same workout clothes I wore yesterday, and Sona was looking forward to this. But God's the boss, and we obey him if we have a good sense of whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so after the second banquet, she said, your employees are trying to kill my people. And then the king told her, well, I cannot overrule a sentence that I've given myself. However, I can give you the right to fight back. So they had a war, and they won. And that story shows how a woman got to save her people using femininity rather than trying to become a man herself. And I shared him a secret that, I know most women will be upset with. I told him, feminine women are the best women to date, just like homosexuals are the best men for us to date. And he's like, I'm like, yes, because a feminine woman's secret desire is to find a man that she judges is stronger than she is, so she can allow him to be the boss and she can rest. So when a woman boss you and you truly believe that what you want to do is the right thing to do, you should stick with your guts. Despite her behavior, she can throw a tantrum, she can scream, she can do whatever, and you tell her, honey, I heard your opinion, but I am comfortable following my own, and even if it comes down that your opinion was the assertive one, I will be okay giving a try to my own opinion. So when a man does that, we respect him. We are like, wow, this man has confidence. He used his own brain. He's not afraid of me. I'm here screaming, you are gonna do it my way. And he's like, no, honey, I like the fact that you're putting some thought into it and you care about it as much as I do, but I am willing to take the risk of being wrong in order to do what I feel convicted that is the right thing to do. So bossy women, they secretly say, please don't bow to me, you know? However, I also told him, if the woman says something that makes you think, you know what, she's right, I'm wrong, she's right. You don't need to do what you initially thought just for the sake of earning her respect. That's perfectly fine to tell her, you know, honey, you actually have great points over there. So I really wanna try what you are telling me. Right? An example of this is what I'm saying right now. So if a man thinks, you know what, I have a highly bossy woman at home, and I'm so scared to stand up to her, to do what I truly believe is the assertive thing to do. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna tell her, honey, I know it's gonna come as a surprise to you, but I am very confident on this new idea of mine, and even though you think it's risky, I am willing to do what I want to do. And if it comes down that you are right, I will be okay being wrong and will be satisfied in the fact that I tried what I wanted to try. And so feminist women, they are so used to being treated like the man, the boss, that when a man stand up to them and show them, I am the boss, they are in heaven. They're like, thank you, Lord, thank you for bringing me a man that you know, is willing to take leadership. So now I can step back and I can perhaps get my nails done. You know, I can actually be a woman, because I know this man is in control and he's gonna survive emotionally if things don't go well. So I won't need to be his psychologist, his psychiatrist, if things don't go well. So I'm very happy with it. We want to be women, we don't want to be a man. But unfortunately, if we feel that the man in our life is incapable of making decisions, and if he makes a mistake, he will break down, we take the position of a man. We don't want to do it, but we will. It's naturally. So now, why is it? Why do homosexuals make good boyfriends? It's for the same reason, in an opposite way. Homosexuals, they are used to being made fun of, treated like a woman. when they get in a relationship with a woman and that woman treats him with respect and submit themselves to his leadership, he experienced something that he's not used to. A man that is used to be a leader, he takes that for granted. I am a leader. And it's like he doesn't even like see appreciate that as something special anymore, because that's so granted to him. His posture, his personality brings that forth naturally. But a homosexual is not used to it. So when he gets to experience a woman that makes him feel like a man, he falls in love. He doesn't want to be a homosexual anymore. He's highly satisfied with that woman. So I thought this conversation that we had was worth of sharing, because most men tell me, we are afraid of women. We don't know how to talk to you. And then another thing that he said is like, we talked about highly accomplished women. It's like highly accomplished women are very difficult to relate with because they are very masculine. And I told him, well, most women want the same thing. Most people want to feel validated, appreciated, and especially women, we love praises. So we are gonna do a lot to get praise, you know. Some of us will take the clothes off. Some will really go above and beyond and become a CEO. Will do a lot of stuff. But I don't think it's something that men should be intimidated by, but rather use as a conversation starter. Like I told him, in my case, I'm a minister, I am a pastor, a writer. So, you know, a man could just look at the title of a YouTube video of mine and say, wow, what was this ministry about? How do you develop your sermons? How about your book? What made you decide to be a writer? And you know, because we love talking about ourselves, and if a woman is highly accomplished, she does want to be recognized for her accomplishments. And I think men could see that in a very positive way. You know, if she is highly accomplished, it means that she put a lot of time and effort toward getting where she got. And that means that she's a woman that didn't just stay on her bed for 20 hours and then you know, going from one man to another on the remainder 4 hours of the day. She was spending her time in a productive manner, and I think it could be appreciated. And he said, well, yeah, that does make sense, you know. I told him, why only men can be only men's achievement are important? Why can't our achievements be cherished as well? We want to be cherished too. It's nice to be with a man that's on the top of his game, but it doesn't mean that we need to only be his wife. When I read Proverbs 31, which is the wife that God describes as the perfect wife, that woman wasn't just a stay-at-home wife. She worked hard, like both in and out of the house. She was highly accomplished in pretty much all areas of her life. She was highly accomplished as in the house business, in the outside business, like intellectually, physically, and she still was always willing to please her husband as his wife, sexually. So she didn't have headaches. So I think being accomplished is positive for both genders and should be honored by both genders. One minister in particular, Lisa Bevere, I watched a ministry of hers that is called The Story of Marriage, and she said that her husband and her eventually realized that couples don't need to be one person. They can be two individuals, partner working together. So like me, I can be a minister and my husband can be something totally different, and we can still be a couple. I am allowed to have passions. I can be an extrovert, and he can be shy, and we are still we should still be allowed to be individuals. We just need to find a way that we can work together, and the Bible teaches this. It doesn't matter if you are the CEO of a company. At home, you are a wife. I told earlier that women wants their men to be Clark to Jesus and to be Superman to them. But at the same token, men wants women to be Superwoman, Wonder Woman to the world, but Clark to them. They want you to be submissive to them. And by being submissive, being submissive is something that's so difficult to understand. What does it mean to be submissive? I guess submissive means to understand that God put him in a position of leadership. Somebody needs to be the boss, and his decision will be the one that will prevail. But you are allowed to give some arguments. So you see him as the judge, and you are the lawyer. You present your case to the judge, your arguments, but you're gonna respect the judge's decision. So I think that that's what submission is. Now, if you are very convincing on your arguments, the decision is gonna be the one you are looking for. But when you watch like a judge and a lawyer interaction, usually the lawyer is highly respectful to the judge. And I think that's what it means. It's like we can be a boss, we can be whatever we want, but when we are home, we should make our husband feel like we value what he decides for the family. We trust his leadership, and we are willing to partner with him and let his word be the lasting one. And there was a particular case that comes to mind now. A Brazilian minister, Pastora Ana Paula Valadão, she wanted to do some changes in her house, and her husband didn't want that to happen. I believe it was due to finances, and she accepted his no. But then she went to God and she said, God, I really want this new floor, and I know that you can convince my husband to do that for me. So if my desire is in alignment with yours for my house, put in his heart to do this for me. And then she said that soon after there was a flood and in the house, and the floor got destroyed, so they had to change the floor. And now they would have to do it anyway, so he gave her the floor that she wanted. And he went to her and he's like, did you pray about this? So this is almost like going to the Supreme Court. The judge said, no, you're not going to be fighting the judge. No, you need to say yes, you need to say yes. You accept his no. But then you appeal. You have the right to appeal. And you appeal to God. The same way we expect the man to bring his weaknesses to God, we should bring our counter arguments, our rebellion, our confrontations to the decision he made to God instead of him. So we say, yes, honey, okay, if you think this is best, we're gonna do it your way. Then you go to God and say, God, he wants this, I don't think this is the best way, I want that. Be the judge between us and give favor to the one that you think is correct, and make the other one accept your choice. That's it. So we are playing by our own rules. Men are being men, women are being women, and this is equality. It's not equality to do something you are not called to do. It's like you can make a man breastfeed a newborn. That's not equality. His chest is not made for that. That's not equality. So there was I really like this the interaction, because I wasn't even willing to talk. I literally, it's like I put in my mind, like I enter my car and I'm like, if it's women, I try to talk to them, because I'm more interested in spending time with women. You know, I'm not. I can handle friendship with men, but I want to interact with people that have the same things that I have, you know. We go through the same hormonal change. We have the same need to speak 8,000 words per day. We like fashion. So I choose. I'm not gonna talk to every single passenger. I drive about 20 people per day, and you know, I don't like talking that much, even though it looks otherwise. And so I pick and choose who I'm gonna talk to. I usually just talk to 2 or 3 people per shift. That's it. And so I rather talk to women than to men. But I'm glad I had this conversation with this man. I believe it was good for the 2 of us. It made the 2 of us to think about different perspectives. And more than anything, it made me realize that, you know, when somebody wants to have a conversation, I think we should be open to have a conversation with them. You know, that person needs somebody to talk to, and sometimes you can just help that person from feeling depressed or from so many problems just because you pay the person a little attention. And in the case of this man, I think he left my car empowered to talk to women. He was discouraged. I don't know if he was thinking about trying homosexual relationships instead, but he seemed like, man, you know, I want to have a relationship, but women are so difficult to relate to. And I think he left my car empowered to give it a try with a different technique. And at the same token, I left the conversation realizing that I should give my attention to people that want the attention, and that I should be really watching myself to remain feminine despite my accomplishments. I really work hard to be very highly accomplished, and I do preach a lot about submission, but when I am in a relationship, I struggle to walk the talk. So those type of conversations really keep me on my toes. Like, it's okay to be stepping up the ladder, but remember that to be a Clark to the man God give me. So I think it was a great conversation for the 2 of us, and I hope it helps more people. All right, bye bye. And next video I'll wear a different workout clothes. Nobody's watching me at home, so I tend to keep wearing the same clothes until they are really dirty. But now I know that I might shoot a video unexpectedly, so I should have be wearing different clothes. Bye bye.